A warm welcome to every one of you. 12th standard, chapter 1, reproduction in plants. What is reproduction? Reproduction means production or perpetuation of young ones of the same kind. If there is an organism, it produces its own kind, so that generation after generation that organism persists in this biosphere. So this process is called as reproduction. There are two types of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction, where no gamete is involved. Second one is sexual reproduction, where gametes and fertilization are involved. Here I present tabular column by which you are able to understand the reproductive structure along with their examples. This is one method of learning by which you are able to remember the concepts for a very long time. So first, asexual reproduction along with examples. Reproductive structures, conidia, example Aspergillus and Penicillium. Budding, yeast and hydra are the examples. Fragmentation, examples are Spirogyra. Gemma, Marchantia. Regeneration, Planaria. Binary fission, Bacteria. Now, vegetative reproduction by root, by adventitious buds. Now, what is adventitious buds? If the buds are produced by the part of a plant other than the stem is called as buds. This is called as adventitious buds. And here the adventitious buds are produced by curry leaf, and I gave the scientific name and reproductive structures. Curry leaf, Moreya coenji, reproductive structures are said to be adventitious buds. In the same way, Indian rosewood, Dalbergia, that is also reproduced by adventitious root buds. Tree jasmine, Indian cork tree, Millingtonia hortensis, that also reproduced by adventitious root buds. Vegetative reproduction by tuberous adventitious root. Here, whenever we use tuberous in botany, especially in morphology, it refers some storage organs are present. So the storage organ start producing a new plant, then it is called as vegetative reproduction by tuberous adventitious root. Sweet potato is an example. Its scientific name is Ipomia batatas. Dahlia, its scientific name, the genus name is Dahlia itself. Both reproduce by tuberous adventitious root. Now, the vegetative reproduction by underground stem. There are types. Rhizome. Rhizome, the reproductive structure. The plants which reproduce by rhizomes are banana, the scientific name is Musa paradisiaca, ginger, Zingiber officinale, turmeric, curcuma longa. In the same way, the corm is a type of reproductive structure. Then the plants reproduced by corm are elephant foot yam and taro. Amorphophallus is its genus name. Scientific name of taro is Colocasia esculenta. The reproductive structure is tuber, and example given in our book is potato. The scientific name is Solanum tuberosum. Then the reproductive structure is bulb. The examples are onion and lily. The scientific names are Allium cepa and Lilium candidum respectively. Vegetative reproduction by subaerial stem. The runner, stolon, offset, sucker, bulbils are the various types of reproductive structure. For runner, examples given Indian pennywort. Indian pennywort. Scientific name is Centella asiatica. Stolon, peppermint and strawberry are the examples, and their scientific names are Mentha piperita and Fragaria vesca respectively. Offset, examples water hyacinth and water hyacinth. Pistia stratiotes and Iconia crassipus respectively are the examples for offset. Sucker, the examples given Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum indicum is its scientific name. Bulbils, two examples are given. One is wild yam, Dioscorea bulbifera is its scientific name. Another one is aloe. The scientific name of aloe is Agave americana. Vegetative reproduction by leaf. Bryophyllum calcinum, it is reproducing by epiphyllous leaf buds. The same way Scilla hyacinthina, it is also reproducing by epiphyllous leaf buds. Epiphyllous leaf buds also found in Begonia rex cultorum or rex begonia. These are the pictures for the formation of conidia, students. The conidia formed by Aspergillus and Penicillium, and both belongs to the kingdom fungi. And budding seen in yeast. The yeast, it cannot be say as a binary fission, because in binary fission there are two equal sized cells should be formed at the end. But here you can see one larger cell and one smaller cell is formed. So we should say it as budding. So the example here is yeast. It belongs to the fungi, and hydra, the second one, it belongs to the animal kingdom. Fragmentation, example Spirogyra. Here the Spirogyra filament you can see split into two pieces, and each piece develop into two new filament. This is called as fragmentation. Gemma cup in Marchantia. This is Marchantia belongs to the bryophytes. The cup-like structure formed on the surface of the plant, that is the plant thallus, is called as gemma cup, that produce a new thallus. Regeneration of planaria. Here planaria is actually belonging to the platyhelminthes, the flatworms of the animal kingdom, and here you can see the platyhelminthes split into three pieces. You see that central one, the trunk. The trunk lost its head and tail, but it is able to regenerate both head and tail. So it shows a very tremendous capacity of regeneration. Vegetative reproduction. So far we discussed about the introduction to the asexual reproduction. Now we are going to discuss about the vegetative reproduction, student. Vegetative reproduction is a form of asexual reproduction in which any vegetative structure can produce a new plant. Any vegetative structure means the root or stem or leaf can produce a new plant, then it is called as vegetative reproduction. There are two types of vegetative reproduction. One is natural vegetative reproduction and another one is artificial vegetative reproduction. Natural vegetative reproduction. Natural vegetative reproduction is a form of asexual reproduction in which a bud grows and develops into a new plant. The bud may be formed in organs such as I already told you, root, stem and leaf. At some stage, the new plant gets detached from the parent plant. That bud produce the new plant, that get detached from the parent plant and start develop into a new plant. Some of the organs involved in the vegetative reproduction also serve as the organ of storage and perennation. Now you may ask the question, what is perennation? The perennation is the ability to overcome the unfavorable condition. So any structure which is responsible to overcome the unfavorable condition, then it is called as organ of perennation. The unit of reproductive structure used in vegetative propagation is called reproductive propagules or diaspores. So the question may be asked, what are propagules or what are diaspores? Reproduction by roots. The root of some plants develop vegetative or adventitious buds. Root arise the part other than radical is called as adventitious roots. In the same way, the buds formed other than the stem is called as adventitious bud. Examples: Murraya, Dalbergia and Millingtonia. Murraya kuyenji, curry leaf, and you can see here the adventitious bud from the roots producing the new plant. Dalbergia, Indian rosewood, these are the new plantlets. Millingtonia hortensis, tree jasmine. Tuberous adventitious roots. Here adventitious roots, I already told you, root arise from the part other than radical. Examples: Epomia batatas and Dahlia. Underground stem modification. These include rhizome, Musa paradisiaca, Zingiber officinale and Curcuma longa. Corm, Amorphophallus and Colocasia. Tuber, Solanum tuberosum. Underground stem modification. Bulb, Allium cepa and Lilium. Bulbils, Dioscorea and Agave. The axillary buds from the nodes of rhizome and eyes of tuber give rise to a new plant. Curcuma longa, rhizome, Zingiber officinale. This is the rhizome of banana. This is the corm, Amorphophallus, and potato. You can see the tuber, it consists of the eye portion with small elevated structure. The triangular structure is the axillary bud from where the new plant is produced. Colocasia, corm, Colocasia. It also produces the daughter corm from the axillary bud. This is the bulb, tunicated and naked. Tunicated means Allium cepa is its scientific name. It consists of a scaly dry leaves which cover the entire bulb. Then it is called as tunicated. When you see the Lilium, here there is no dry scale leaves present around the bulb, so it is called as naked. So that is the difference. The reduced stem of the onion present at the bottom, the rest of the pink color portion or its fleshy and the dry scale leaves. Vegetative reproduction in subaerial stem. Vegetative reproduction in stem by subaerial stem modification. These includes runner, Centella asiatica, stolon, offset, sucker and bulbils. And along with that examples are given: Mentha fragaria for stolon, Pisthia and Iconia for offset, Chrysanthemum for sucker and Dioscorea and Agave for bulbils. This is the runner, Centella asiatica. Here you can see a long internode taking the bud to the longer distance and it settled down on the soil and produced the adventitious root and the young plant. This is Centella asiatica, runner. The runner, the basal internode of the bud elongates horizontally and trail along the soil, carrying the bud to a distance from the mother plant, where it gets fixed to the soil by means of adventitious roots and develop a new daughter plant. Offset, it is like a runner student, but it is found in aquatic plants. Only it is shorter and thicker, not like runner, it is longer and thinner. Here you can see offset, it is shorter and thicker. The common examples are water hyacinth, Iconia crassipus, Pistia stratiodes. These are the two examples. Fragaria vesca for stolon and peppermint also for stolon. Now what is stolon? It is also like runner, but it first grow upwards and then it bend downward, then it touch the soil and produce the adventitious roots and new leaves above. So this is called as stolon. Now sucker. You can see the sucker is produced by the underground axillary bud. So it produces underground branch actually. It grows below the soil surface and at one place it comes above the soil and produce a new plant. Then it is called as sucker. Example, chrysanthemum. And you can see the branches are below the soil surface and produce the roots. Bulbils, axillary bulbils, you can see the bulbils are produced in the axillary position. Example, Dioscorea bulbifera. And agave, in agave plant actually the bulbils are produced at the floral bud position in the axil of the bracts and it fall down and produce a new plant. Vegetative reproduction by leaf. Example, Bryophyllum, Scilla, Begonia, where adventitious buds are produced by the leaves. Here you can see the Bryophyllum. The Bryophyllum, in its leaf margin, in the notches, it produces the small buds that grow into a new plant. It falls down and grow into a new plant. So the Bryophyllum scientific name is Bryophyllum calcinum. Scilla, you can see the scilla. It grows in the sandy soil. Foliage leaves are long and narrow, you can see, actually the epiphyllous buds are present at the tip of the leaves. Once the leaves touching the soil, it produces the new plant. Begonia rex, you can see just a leaf, cut leaf is placed on the soil, then it start producing a new plant. Wherever the veins touch the soil, there and all it start producing a new plant. So this is also a type of vegetative leaf reproduction. Artificial methods of vegetative reproduction. This is the vegetative reproduction done by the human beings. Then it is called as artificial methods of vegetative reproduction. A number of methods are used in agriculture and horticulture to propagate plants from their parts. Such methods are said to be artificial propagation. Before we are going to artificial vegetative reproduction, let us first finish the advantages of natural vegetative reproduction, student. Only one parent is required for propagation, that is one of the advantage. Second advantage is the new individual plant produced are genetically identical. So the productivity, the yield also will be uniform in all the farmlands. In some plants, this enable the spread rapidly. It means it enables the plant to spread rapidly in a given place. Example, Spinifex. Fourth point is horticulturists and farmers utilize these organs of natural vegetative reproduction for cultivation and to harvest plants in large scale. And there is only one disadvantage, student, in natural vegetative reproduction. New plants produced have no genetic variation. There must be a genetic variation which facilitate the evolution, that you know very well. So it is not allowing the plants to produce the new species. So that is only the disadvantage. Now coming back to the artificial propagation methods, there are two types of artificial propagation methods. One is conventional method and another one is modern method. We are going to discuss about the conventional methods. Some of the artificial propagation methods have been used by man for a long time and are called conventional methods. So the man using it for a very longer period of time, then it is called as conventional method. Nowadays technology is being used for propagation to produce large number of plants in a short period of time. Such methods are said to be modern methods. Now you can see the conventional method. There are three broad categories, students: cutting, grafting and layering. Under cutting, there are three categories: root cutting, stem cutting and leaf cutting. In the same way, grafting, bud grafting, approach grafting, tongue grafting, crown grafting, wedge grafting. Layering, mound layering and air layering are the two types. Cutting, grafting, layering are the conventional methods that we are going to learn. First, cutting. It is a method of producing a new plant by cutting the plant part such as root, stem and leaf from the parent plant. The cut part is placed in a suitable medium for growth. It produces root and grows into a new plant. Depending upon the part used, it is called as root cutting, as it is in the case of malus. Its common name is apple. Stem cutting, hibiscus, bougainvillea and moringa. Leaf cutting, begonia and bryophyllum. Stem cutting is widely used for propagation, students. Of the three cutting, stem cutting is widely used for propagation. Root cutting, malus, apple. You can see the root cutting produced the new plant in apple tree. Stem cutting, you can see hibiscus produced a new plant. The same way moringa. Stem cutting in bougainvillea. In day 1 to day 120 picture is shown here, how much fast it is growing within 120 days, and it start flowering also, you can see. Leaf cutting, already we learnt it in vegetative reproduction by leaf, students. Here just placing the leaf on the soil, it start producing a new plant. The vein, the vascular bundle, once it touches the soil, it start producing the new plant in begonia plant. Next one is leaf cutting in bryophyllum. You can see the notches which are present in the leaf margin, where it start producing new epiphyllous buds it start producing a new plant. Next one is grafting. Part of two different plants are joined here. Two different plants are joined so that they continue to grow as one plant. Stalk, the plant which is in contact with the soil, is called as stalk. Scion, the plant used for grafting, present on the stalk plant. So these two words you have to understand properly, students, then only you are able to understand the grafting. The grafting consists of two plant part. One is called as stalk, the plant which is in contact with the soil. Then scion, the plant used for grafting, present on the stalk plant. Example, citrus, mango and apple. So what is the use of such type of grafting? We are able to produce the product from the plants which consists of the desirable characters of the two plants. That is the benefit of grafting. Types of grafting, you see there are 5 types of grafting, students. One is bud grafting, second one is approach grafting, third one is tongue grafting, fourth one is crown grafting, fifth one is wedge grafting. First one is bud grafting. Bud grafting, here you can see T-shaped incision is made in the stalk and the bark is lifted. The scion bud with little wood is placed in the incision beneath the bark and properly bandaged with a tape. So the scion start producing a new branch from which we are able to get the benefits of both the plant characters. Second one is approach grafting. Here we are bringing two plants. The two plants still they are in the soil, they are in contact with the soil, they are brought very close to each other, and one side of their branch where we are going to graft is cut, and then they are bring closer to each other and in such a way that they come in contact with each other, and we put bandage. After 1 to 4 weeks we can cut the tip of the stalk and the base of the scion so that the new branch can be produced. Tongue grafting, here a scion and stalk having the same thickness is cut obliquely and the scion is fit into the stalk and bound with a tape. This is called as tongue grafting. Here you can see the cut is made in a oblique fashion and the diameter of the stalk and scion should be same so that they can fit with each other, and then bandage will be made around them. Crown grafting. Crown grafting is applied whenever the stalk is very large. In such case the scion may be very small. So in such case we can cut the scion into wedge shape and are inserted into the slits or clefts of the stalk and fixed in position using graft wax. So because it is present at the top, the scions are present at the top of the stalk, giving the appearance of a crown, it is called as crown grafting. The one is wedge grafting. In this method a slit is made in the stalk or the bark is cut. The bark is cut into a slit in which the twig of scion is inserted and tightly bound so that the cambium of the two, so that is the point to be noted, the cambium of the two is joined, that is two joined means here the cambium of the stalk and the cambium of the scion joined. This is called as wedge grafting. Now we are going to learn about layering, student. So far we learnt about cutting, grafting. There are 3 types of cutting we learnt: root cutting, stem cutting and leaf cutting, and grafting. 5 types we learnt. Now we are going to learn about the layering. In this method the stem of a parent plant is allowed to develop root while still intact. It is with the mother plant. You can see the arrow mark there where the stem, around the stem they are keeping the soil and tying it with the polythene cover, and it is left for some 1 or 2 months. Afterwards in that particular place the roots are developing. After that the particular branch is cut and plant in a new place, it produces a new plant. Examples: Ixora and Jasminum. Mound layering and air layering are few types of layering. Mound layering and air layering are few types of layering. First we will see mound layering. This is applied for the plants having flexible branches. Lower branch with leaves is bent to the ground and part of the stem is buried in the soil and tip of the branch is exposed above the soil. After the root emerge, cut is made in parent plant so that the buried part grow into a new plant. Now you can see the mound layering. The portion which is in touch with the soil produce the roots. Once it start producing the root, the connection from the parent plant is cut, so it start producing a new plant. And another type of mound layering also you can see, where we are keeping the soil around the branches, where the branches produce the roots. Once it produces the root, the branches are cut off from the parent plant and it is planted in a different place. Air layering where the stem is girdled at nodes. Hormones are applied to this region which promotes rooting. This portion is covered with damp or moist soil using a polythene sheet. Once root emerge in these branches, after 2 to 4 months, branches are removed from the parent plant and grown as a new plant. Advantages of conventional methods. The plant produced are genetically uniform, so the productivity or the yield of a crop plant is assured. Many plants can be produced quickly by this method. Some plants produce little or no seed, students. In some plants, seeds produced do not germinate. In both the cases, we are able to apply the conventional method. In such cases, plants can be produced in a short period by this method. Some plants can be propagated more economically. You see the potato, the vegetative reproduction by conventional method economically used to produce very large quantity of potato. So the scientific name already I told you, Solanum tuberosum. Fifth point is, two different plants with desirable characters such as disease resistant and high yield can be grafted and grown as a new plant with the same desirable characters. So the new plant will produce or carry both the characteristic feature, that is the disease resistant as well as high yielding capacity. So disadvantage of conventional method. Use of virus infected plants as parent produces virus infected new plants, right? So it is, we have to be very careful when we are doing conventional method when selecting the plants. It should be free from viruses and other pathogens. Second one is vegetative structure used for propagation or bulky, and so if it is very bulky, it is very difficult to handle and store. So far we learnt about the asexual reproduction. Thank you.